Alright guys, time to grab it back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and today we're going to talk about the Atlanta FaZe. Yesterday OpTic Chicago came out with their second podcast where Scumpy and co were talking at quite some length how Atlanta FaZe right now are looking very, very strong in scrims, and exactly the meta that they are deciding to use. Yesterday we talked about the pros being kind of mind-blowing, the fact that some of these amateurs want a gentleman's agreement, the AK-47, whereas Atlanta FaZe, who have been scrimming for an entire week now, they've barely lost a single map against a number of these different teams. They've been using no AK-47 at all, with at least 2 Krigs, if not 3 Krigs on certain maps, MP5s, AK-47s potentially coming into play, or AK-74U, sorry, potentially coming into play on the SMG side. But very intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section on how this does look going forwards, because yes, we're only a few days into scrims. OpTic Chicago, for example, have only been scrimming for like 3-4 days. Atlanta FaZe have been scrimming now for well over a week, so of course they're going to be to some degree ahead of the game. But I was expecting, yes, Atlanta FaZe to be very good, Dallas Empire, of course, also to be very good early season, and it looks like they are going to be, and a long time, of course, till the league does kick off in probably late January sometime. But FaZe definitely having a very hot start to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and is it too much of a surprise? Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new. As always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much for doing that. Also, I just realized 37,000 subscribers yesterday. It was only like a week ago we got to 36,000. Absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, thank you very much, and let's keep that train rolling towards that 50k mark. Zed says this yesterday, scrimming today for the first time. We've been seeing Zed play with Sensor, Aches and Dens, so that may be a challenger's team, not well confirmed or anything yet, but Sensor was also replying in this thread to the Rocker, talking about the Rocker camo. So it seems like some camos are going to be coming into Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War coming relatively soon. As Sensor says, is it going to be reactive? And Rocker are kind of like, maybe, eyes emoji. That would be really cool to see. So hopefully that comes sooner rather than later, maybe when the league launches. It'll probably be the first time ever that we got camos in the game actually when the league launches for the professional side. So hopefully that is something that is in the works. Also to mention this, so Rated joining 100 Thieves yesterday. Really cool to see, given that Rated's had a very tough career at times, like the issues that he's had to deal with on the Red Reserve organization, Denial Esports, all these organizations that have screwed him over, owed him a lot of money. So great to see that someone who's been around the scene a very long time can get this great opportunity now alongside Tommy as a Warzone player and creator on the 100 Thieves side. Looks like, well, with Warzone going into this more custom game stuff coming into play, he's actually going to be like a proper player really for this team, and well, going forwards, who knows what Warzone competitive looks like, but certainly Rated is going to be there. So really, really good to see. And as Tommy says, what is good, teammate? He also says the following: just before I go to bed, I'm better than half of the mains in the league. So when everything is hitting the fan, bell my line, I'll be stateside. I might save you if nature lets me out of my $1 trillion deal. So pretty cool to see from Rated. And there's certainly a good argument that says that Rated in a very traditional 4 versus 4 boots on the ground title that we are potentially playing this year is a lot better than some of the main assault rifles that are in the league right now. But yeah, good to see Rated land on his feet to some degree after a difficult Modern Warfare season. So let's talk about, well, Atlanta FaZe and the scrims that have been happening in the last few days. So Atlanta FaZe, like, to be fair to them, they were straight on the ball, right? The game pretty much came out a couple of days later. They were straight scrimming like whoever they could possibly do against, well, a number of the professional teams. And some of the professional teams, of course, we're going to look at New York in just a second here, but they're not playing with their full lineup. They've got a seam in the team now. But, you know, then again, Hydra, if he can't get over too easily from the European region he's stuck in right now due to some visa issues, then, you know, they're just going to be playing with a seam anyway, so that may actually be their lineup when the season does begin. But yeah, they were straight into the thing, scrimming against whoever they could, you know, amateur teams and co. And RSD says this a couple of days ago, the Krig is just better, right? And this is, well, Atlanta FaZe's opinion on the matter. The Krig is the way to go. The AK-47 is kind of second fiddle. And then some MP5s and potentially some 74Us in the game on the SMG side, which seems to have been getting more traction over the last couple of weeks. But pretty much a lot of the meta they've been running are BZ on the MP5. The other 3 guys, Simp, Celium, and Arcides, all on Krigs. And they've basically not been losing a scrim. Of course, coming into this season, a lot of people looked at FaZe and thought, okay, this is probably going to be the most dominant team. It's very difficult to pick players in each of those roles that would be better at all. And, yeah, pretty impressive to see them starting off on the right foot here in the sense that, you know, they're not slowing down at all. I thought that potentially Dallas Empire could be a team that you know, takes the lead in the very early part of the season in some of these online tournaments. And of course, the season hasn't even begun yet. We're very early into the title, but you know, 10 or so days of scrims now definitely does give you a decent idea of how the teams are looking in comparison to one another. And I thought that maybe Dallas Empire, given the fact that Illy, Hug, and Shotzi, probably guys that will very much learn the game very quickly indeed. And Dallas has certainly been up there and playing well in scrims, but not quite being able to match FaZe as of yet. So yeah, I mean, mean, this came out from RCTs as well. The RCTs versus formal rivalry already started. We got beef some nice shots here with the Krig, and well, showing why really in, FaZe's opinion, the Krig is the way to go, just beaming across the map with this one. So I'll share a quick clip from this OpTic Chicago podcast that came out yesterday with Scump talking about how, yeah, I mean, they were doing pretty well in scrims with this AK-47 a few days ago when they first kicked off against the New York squad, but FaZe using this Krig and MP5 situation that they're doing right now definitely means that they are the most dominant team in the game as it currently stands, and very difficult to beat indeed, and well, obviously a very deadly team more generally.
Talk to you guys about the meta. Obviously, you guys have started scrimming just recently. You guys were saying that you got dumpstered on by FaZe clan.
Everyone we played yesterday.
And Dallas, yeah.
Dallas too?
Yeah. It wasn't a good time.
We were getting chokeslammed.
Anyway, the meta.
Is there even a meta at this point in the game? Like
yeah.
two, three, there is?
Yeah, we played FaZe. They were all using Krigs. We were all using AKs, and we just couldn't keep up.
But it's still being
and now we're all using
Krigs. Where
Krigs.
people are
Yeah, now we're all using Krigs.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, for us, it was day 2. For them, it was like day 7.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I mean, clear imbalance there. We were getting bodied.
And, man, the subs are not viable in this game.
No?
Really at
the
all.
AK-74U is.
Yeah.
It actually is.
People were running
that's my favorite
ARs,
one.
though?
On certain maps.
People were running
on
3-4.
Maps, yeah, certain maps it's like 3-3 and then 1 sub on each team.
We played Minnesota. They were running 4 AKs on Moscow.
We haven't played Minnesota yet.
Who we play? Oh, New York.
New York.
They were running 4 AKs on Moscow, and I was mind blown.
Yeah. So like we were playing everywhere. We were playing other teams. They were using AKs. Then we played FaZe, and they were all using the Krig. So we were like, is the Krig better? Because like we were just getting smoked. The AK feels like it has ghost bullets. I don't know. It's all over the place.
Okay, now
we thought the MP5 was good. Then we were like, the MP5's not good.
The MP5's not good.
Everyone's using AK-74U.
So this is a poll that RCTs did on the 22nd, like, hey, AK or Krig? A lot of people saying AK in this one, but yeah, it seems like FaZe pretty much are using the Krig right now, and a number of other teams are using very different things, and it does kind of confuse me why the other teams aren't necessarily following FaZe's lead in this sense, right? Like he was talking about Scump right there, how they were playing against the New York team, and they were using like all sorts of stuff, like 4 AKs on certain maps. There were 74Us all over the place, some Krigs, some AKs. I saw someone suggest, I believe on the Reddit, that something like 1 Krig as your main AR, 1 AK as your flex, 1 AK-74U as your like slaying SMG, and then 1 MP5 as your aggressive like entry SMG could be a cool meta, right? Like if it was all balanced in that sense, so that 4 guns were viable, that'd be super cool. And I think right now, like it almost is at that point, because the AK definitely does hit a bit harder up close and is better, like can compete more against your SMGs at close range, but the Krig just seems to be more consistent for me and is better at long range and seems to be what FaZe are using. And Scump's kind of surprised maybe why other teams aren't following FaZe's lead in this sense. I think FaZe are surprised themselves, like why aren't other teams following what we're doing? We've been dominating scrims these last 10 or so days. We've been playing them pretty much, not losing a single scrim set, and I think yesterday they played against the Dallas Empire. A few days ago they played OpTic Chicago, and it wasn't too pretty from the Chicago side as Scump was getting at, but also I think they played Dallas Empire yesterday. I think you can probably find the VODs on Crimsix's channel. I think he was scrimming there, but you have to be like a subscriber or something to watch his VODs, and it just brings me back to a funny story, I think, from Joey Nubsy from Black Ops 4 saying that he subbed to Crimsix just to see his VODs for when they were going to be playing them on that Gen G team versus OpTic Gaming in the latter half of the season. But the other side of the thing then, yeah, Dallas were playing Atlanta FaZe last night. I think they're like map 1 on Crossroads. That's definitely a map that Dallas seemed to be very good at. Who could drop like 50 kills, 7,000 damage or something to end up winning them that map number 1. But then after that, FaZe really, took it to another level and won the rest of the scrim series. So pretty impressive stuff. Of course, it is quite difficult to read into too much what teams are up to nowadays. But yeah, I would imagine some teams over the coming days try and copy what FaZe are doing in terms of the meta that they are bringing to the table. But it certainly seems like they're quite significantly ahead of the game right now. And well, will it be possible to catch them up right? We saw the Dallas Empire, for example, do very well at the early part of the Modern Warfare season. These online tournaments, they were the best team. When it came to LAN, though, it wasn't quite the same deal. However, this season, we're not necessarily going to be playing on LAN at the start of the season. And, well, will FaZe fall off to a degree? Because it's so, kind of questionable that they will, given the talent on their roster. Right now, they seem to be the best team. I imagine that's going to continue over the coming weeks. But there is potentially going to be a massive weapon tuning, balancing update type thing coming relatively soon indeed. So maybe that does change exactly how things are going. But I'll try and keep you guys updated on how the scrims are going behind behind the scenes now. It's going to be looking for which teams are going to be the best when the game does kick off and when we start doing power rankings, I suppose, for the next season. And unfortunately, we just don't have any announcements yet on when the league is going to kick off, what's going on there, like what even the format is going to be. I've heard some things that are kind of questionable, so I'm hoping some of them don't come true. But so yeah, we'll see in coming days. I imagine the CDL has some announcements around the corner, and I'm hopeful it's going to be a good season, given that Natured and Hex certainly seem to be pretty confident in what Activision is bringing to the table here. A couple of things to finish off the video. This from Lion You'll see this wallbang on Moscow. Thought this was really interesting. If you're in this section, you can just wallbang straight through to this kind of like middle courtyard area, and maybe it works the other way around as well, which probably isn't particularly viable the other way around, but you never know, to be honest. This could be a situation that works. Maybe you can even line it up to get an angle on that, that half wall situation. Maybe that can work. I don't know. I hadn't seen this before. Thought it was kind of cool. Just to finish out with this clip from Rated as well, given we talked about him earlier in the video. This VIP escort clutch he did a couple of days ago. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. He could definitely still be in the Pro League in my opinion, but yeah, Warzone content creator also sounds great in 100 Thieves. Thank you for watching as always. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Scump's on me. He's on me, dude. Like,
You good, bro? You good, Gilmore?
1v2. Zuma's down in the back. It's 1v3, but Zuma's down, I'm pretty sure, somewhere.
Yeah, Aiden was in the plane.
Where's Zuma down at?
That's what I'm trying to look for.
Who downed him?
No idea.
I had him down far back right.
He's going for the res. He's going for the res. Oh, that's Tommy. 1v3, 1v2.
He's gonna call you out on
You
the
have a
floor, by
minute
the
30.
way.
You have a minute 30.
On your left, on
Your
your left.
left. 3-1, last kick. Regen. You have 8 bullets. Can you pick up a gun or no? He's gonna res his teammate. He crawled to the right, I'm pretty sure.